Mary and I don't know what's going on, so of course we're frustrated. We're completely in the dark.
So tired of him talking like this, about core values and what we believed in, about faith and family, as if he hadn't spent the last decade bulldozing both with his ego, and then he has the audacity to call it abandonment, a word I never chose, a word he weaponized to rewrite the narrative and cast himself as the victim while the rest of us were just trying to survive the wreckage. And Dan, why aren't you reaching out to the kids? Why aren't you trying harder? Why do you keep watching this unravel from the sidelines when your voice could mean something? If I had been there, if I had sat with them and explained why Christine and I broke up, maybe they wouldn't have turned on her. Maybe they wouldn't have let Robyn feed them half-truths masked as protection. Because here's the truth no one wants to say out loud. What happens when the person you trust most becomes the architect of your family's destruction? When loyalty morphs into manipulation, when love becomes a strategic weapon, when every tear is rehearsed and every trembling voice is a performance meant to disarm rather than heal. Today, we're tearing down the carefully painted illusion of Robyn Brown's innocence, exposing the framework beneath the facade of motherly virtue and moral superiority, a framework built not on love, but on control, deception, and psychological warfare so calculated it would make a Machiavellian strategist look like an amateur. The Browns didn't implode by accident. This was a precision takedown carried out by someone who knew exactly where the cracks were and how to shatter the foundation. And this isn't wild theory. It's a breadcrumb trail of contradiction, gaslighting, and emotionally manipulative tactics that stretch across years of footage and broken relationships. Robyn didn't enter this family as a fourth wife seeking belonging. She arrived with a blueprint, a master plan to center herself and her children at the heart of the family, while subtly eroding everyone else's connection, authority, and emotional standing. And what's terrifying is how seamlessly she pulled it off, while cloaking herself in perpetual victimhood. But let's rewind to something deceptively small, the way she handled telling her children about Christine's departure. With her signature soft-spoken sadness, she claimed she hadn't told them, that she was shielding their hearts from the adult drama. And yet, mere weeks later at Adisabella's graduation celebration, she casually revealed that they had known all along. They played with Truly for hours that day, smiling, running, acting as if everything was fine. And are we really supposed to believe that Ari, who talks
Dating is hard, but what do you want? Older than me.
I would like somebody at least.
Every thought suddenly became a fortress of secrecy? Or is it more likely that Truly already knew, and like every child caught in a swirl of adult lies, was performing a part she sensed she needed to play? Because children know. They feel what we don't say. And this wasn't a slip-up. This was a pattern. Robyn thrives in the ambiguity of contradictions, keeping others unsteady, always questioning themselves while she remains the emotional compass everyone orbits around. This is emotional gaslighting veiled in maternal fragility, and it's ruthlessly effective. Because our culture doesn't question crying mothers. We rally behind them. We excuse their contradictions. We defend their intentions. And Robyn knows this. She has weaponized it. But her relationship with manipulation runs deeper than occasional fibs. She's proud of it. Remember when she gleefully told the cameras in season 4 how she lied to Cody about scratching his car for a Valentine's Day surprise? There was no remorse, no hesitation, just a smile and a candid, almost bragging admission that yes, she's good at lying. And if someone is that comfortable lying on camera, what does that say about the moments we don't see? What about the private conversations, the decisions framed as selfless sacrifices, the whispered alliances forged in hallways and text messages? Christine and Janelle saw through it from the beginning. They recognized the act. They knew the difference between real tears and crocodile ones, between trembling voices and rehearsed performances. Even the older kids weren't buying it. Their instincts picked up on the artificiality. But Cody and Mary? They swallowed it whole, mistaking her emotional displays for depth, her manipulation for sincerity. And that was the beginning of the end. Because emotional manipulators don't need everyone, they just need enough. Enough allies, enough believers, enough people willing to defend their actions because they seem so earnest. And Robyn targeted the ones with the softest hearts. Cody, desperate to feel adored. Mary, always craving acceptance. And later, the children too emotionally drained to question her motives. Watch how she weaponizes her kids. Emotional shields 1 minute, blunt force guilt hammers the next. When Mary asked to take Solomon on a trip to Utah, Robyn declined, citing pregnancy stress and emotional sensitivity, reasonable on the surface. But dig deeper and you see the same pattern: restriction, isolation, and the constant recentering of Robyn as the gravitational force of the entire family. She didn't want Solomon to bond with Mary. She wanted him dependent, close, emotionally tethered to her alone. And offering Brianna as a replacement wasn't kindness. It was a slap in the face, a reminder that Mary's presence could be substituted with a teenager because she wasn't the priority. Robyn creates distance disguised as protection, exclusion disguised as caution, and all the while keeps her halo polished so brightly it blinds those who might otherwise see the strings she's pulling. She has mastered the art of making every act of control look like maternal sacrifice, every boundary a safety measure, every manipulation a misunderstood kindness. And anyone who questions her? They're attacking a mother, a woman just trying to hold her family together. That's the brilliance and the danger of Robyn Brown. She doesn't just lie. She restructures reality, reshapes the narrative so thoroughly that even those living in it begin to doubt their own memories. And it's taken years for the others to finally name what's been happening. This isn't about one lie or one decision. It's about a decades-long campaign of emotional dominance disguised as devotion. And as the foundation finally crumbles beneath her, as the older kids step away, as Mary walks, as Janelle refuses to pretend anymore, we're finally witnessing the reckoning. The emotional architecture of the Brown family wasn't built on plural unity. It was a house of mirrors, twisted reflections manipulated by the one person who always claimed she was just trying to help. But help never looked like this. Love never left this kind of collateral damage. And loyalty should never feel like submission. So the next time Robyn Brown cries on camera, remember, even the most heartbreaking performance can be staged by someone who knows exactly what to say, exactly when to say it, and exactly how to. And yet, despite everything laid bare, despite the web of contradictions tightening around her every word, Robyn still clings to the same carefully curated image of the misunderstood, heartbroken wife, just trying to keep her fractured family from splintering completely, even though it was her hands on the hammer all along. Her tears fall like clockwork in every interview, every confession, but what those tears obscure is the systematic way she isolated Cody from the other wives, physically, emotionally, spiritually, until he was no longer a husband in a plural marriage, but a man orbiting only her world, tethered to her children, her emotions, her stories. And make no mistake, those stories were often twisted versions of events, laced with just enough truth to seem credible but manipulated enough to recast herself as the wronged party, the savior, the innocent bystander forced to endure cruelty and exclusion. But what exclusion looks like through Robyn's lens is often just others setting boundaries, reclaiming autonomy, and refusing to be sucked into her emotional vortex. When Janelle voiced concern about Cody spending all his time at Robyn's house, it wasn't jealousy or resentment. It was a truth bomb that Robyn immediately deflected with her signature victim narrative. I've always wanted us to be one big happy family. But actions speak louder than softly spoken words, and Robyn's actions never supported unity. She consistently inserted herself into conflicts that didn't involve her, stirred drama under the guise of honesty, and leaned into selective communication that fed Cody only the information she wanted him to hear, and he, blindly devoted to her approval, absorbed it all as gospel. This isn't just dysfunction. This is textbook triangulation. Robyn placing herself between Cody and the other wives, playing interpreter, mediator, and ultimately gatekeeper of their emotional access to him. Even the kids began to feel it, the older ones especially, as Cody withdrew from their lives, redirected his attention toward Robyn's household, and justified it all with twisted logic about respect and loyalty. But what kind of father only demands loyalty from the people who already feel the most neglected? What kind of leader refuses to lead, instead hiding behind one wife's manipulations while allowing the others to crumble under the weight of his silence. Cody didn't just enable Robyn. He became her accomplice, willingly blind to the destruction because her devotion stroked the fragile ego that had taken too many blows from women who dared to think independently. Christine left because she couldn't pretend anymore. Janelle pulled away because she was done being gaslit. Mary hung on, hoping against hope that the man she